Greatness isn't built in the loud moments. It isn't forged in the spotlight or in the applause. It's built in the quiet, unseen hours. When no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when no one is even noticing. The world loves noise. It celebrates the dramatic, the viral, the sudden breakthrough. But the truth is, most breakthroughs are just the fruit of roots grown in silence. Consistency. Quiet, unshakable consistency. For so long, I lived my life chasing only the end result, the vision, the big moment, the final glory. I wanted the finish line without the training, the applause without the practice, the crown without the cross. And I think a lot of people live that way, always looking ahead to the reward, without ever stopping to honor the journey. But in truth, the end result isn't always as grand as we imagine it. Sometimes we put in all that work. You finally get the result you were dreaming of, and it feels empty. It doesn't satisfy the way you thought it would. Because the true gift was never the result. It was the process, the growth, the resilience, the lessons you learned along the way. The journey itself can be just as fulfilling, if not more. Far more than just a distraction. And that's where consistency comes in. Not chasing the finish line, but learning to love the steps along the way. I hope that this message resonates with someone out there at this current point in time. So if it does, say something in the comments. It's really important that we have some sort of dialogue or get to engage with one another. The word says in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." And in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance." Notice it doesn't say, dream big and wait. It says, do not grow weary, be diligent, keep going. Because the point of life isn't just reaching the harvest. It's being faithful to the sowing. It's because someone in the process is showing up daily. Consistency builds character, and character builds a life that cannot be shaken. It's building something on a foundation of brick rather than a foundation of sand. Think about the river. It doesn't carve the canyon in one dramatic moment. It doesn't force its way through in a day. It shapes stone through steady, quiet, unrelenting flow. Think about a seed. You place it in the dirt and you cover it up with soil and you water it and then nothing. For weeks, maybe months. It looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are digging deep, fortifying, strengthening, preparing for the weight of growth. In my own life, there were seasons where I prayed and saw no answer. Seasons where I worked and I saw no reward. Seasons where I stayed faithful and it felt like silence was my only companion. But now I see those were the seasons where my roots were just growing, where God was building me in the dark so I could stand in the light. That's the hidden strength of consistency. The power to transform, to shape, and to break through, not by violence, but by persistence. Your prayers, your daily habits, your small kindnesses, your quiet dedication. They're carving out something in you and around you. Something you may not see today, but one day the world will. So let me ask you this if I can. Where in your life have you been chasing intensity? When what you really need is consistency? Have you been fixated on the end result? Like a relationship, a career, a dream? Without ever learning to love the process of becoming, are you truly going to enjoy the end result? What if the breakthrough you've been waiting for is not in the next big leap, but in the next small step you choose to repeat? I remember watching football as a kid. The Patriots were the biggest team on TV. And I used to think Tom Brady was boring. I used to think he was the most boring player ever. Tom Brady to this day is the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And I know it's kind of confusing for the younger generations because all they see is Patrick Mahomes. They don't get to see Tom Brady. But the thing that made the Patriots who the Patriots were was consistency. Quiet, careful consistency. Sure, every once in a while you get a flashy play, you get a flashy maneuver. Maybe he ducked the pocket and twist out and maybe get a ball downfield when you didn't expect him to make it. But Tom Brady was consistent. You could always depend on Tom to get the ball downfield, provide what was necessary for his players, and he got minimum amounts of interceptions. Don't despise the small, quiet moments, the repetitious actions. Don't think they don't matter. Every time you show up, every time you choose to keep going, every time you refuse to quit, you are planting seeds in eternity. The world may not notice your quiet steps right now, but heaven does. And in time, every small act of faith becomes a mountain moved. This is the power of quiet consistency. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day and busy week to watch this episode of Reflections. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please make sure you go in the comments below. I'd love to respond back to you. I respond back to every comment that is posted. I want to say have a blessed weekend, holiday weekend. It's Labor Day, guys. Stay blessed and have an amazing week.